As the final buzzer sounded on the Pistons' 2023 season, two die-hard fans, Mickey and Harry, each passed out and witnessed a vision. They were visited by Detroit's very own mascot, Hooper, the stallion ablaze, who told them the only way the Pistons would ever win a championship again was if these two men started a podcast. To be clear, they said, do we really have to do this? I mean, aren't there enough Pistons podcasts already? It seems like this might be overkill. But Hooper dunked on them, right in their face, and said, your team needs you. He presented them with a prophecy. Now it is their duty to help Detroit rise again and become champions. The Order of the Blazing Horse. Welcome back to another episode of The Order of the Blazing Horse, the only Detroit Pistons podcast based on a mystical prophecy. I am one of those prophets, touched by a horse, not a creepy way, touched by Hooper. You know him, you've seen him, he's a great man. Harry Moros, joined as always by my co-host, my co-prof with the most on the West Coast,
Mickey Jacobs. Glad to be here, Harry. My juice levels are peaking. I am counting the days down to the first playoff game between the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks. How you feeling?
I'm pulped up, man. Juiced up, pulped up. All
extra pulp.
Extra
I love that.
Pulp. And we are very fortunate. I'm in a great mood, actually. I know I said I was just in an okay mood. I'm in a great mood because we're joined by one of my best friends, one of the best comedians the country has to offer. Maybe you know him from stand-up comedy. Maybe you know him from Shamedy, which is comedy from Biamedy, which is a pretty stellar show. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for At Weave Dreaming, Aaron Weaver. What up, Dosan?
What up? I'm juiced. I'm pumped. I'm grinded. I'm graded. Yeah.
Graded.
Yeah, that's right, dude. That's right. I got the Parmesan with me, ready to go.
Nice.
Sprinkle.
What vitamins we're talking about here? We got to be vitamin C, but definitely vitamin D, right? For the Pistons, vitamin D up.
Oh, that's right. You know about vitamin K?
What's vitamin K?
I don't know, but it's
vitamin
out there.
K. I know
Yeah.
Get a little out of body with it.
Okay.
Okay. I know that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Aaron, we had you on the show because you and we kind of met through comedy, and I think we became bigger friends through Detroit Pistons fandom a little bit. We balled together, part of the San Fernando crew out there, out in that ballpark. Tell us, how long you been a Pistons fan? What do you love about the Pistons? What is your Pistons origin love?
Woo, baby. I go way back when I was like my first memories of basketball started with the Bad Boys, way back, Bill, Isaiah, those guys, you know them, you love them. And then, man, it's the Chauncey Rip years. Those are the ones that like really stole my heart. I was there. I was rooting for them. I was like in high school, just so jazzed for that run. That block that Tayshaun had on Reggie Miller, that's when I knew we were winning the championship. It's like those little signs that happen along the way where it's like, damn, that's an omen. So yeah, man, used to go to the Palace, used to sneak down to the front row. People didn't care back then. I don't know if it's different now.
Bad boy influence, indeed.
What's that?
I said bad boy influence, indeed.
Yeah, that's right.
The front row.
Yes, we were bad boys. Yeah, man. Just a big fan. Been a fan for a long time. I'll admit I've been in LA for 10 years. Pistons have been bad most of that time. It's been hard to stay. The light didn't go fully out. The light is back and it's bright and I'm excited.
Check engine light was on and it was dim.
Oh, the engine was not working. The engine was
Stalled
broken.
out a little bit there.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the people who were turning the keys were having a hard time figuring out where the keyhole was, I think, for a while.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, the car was on cinder block, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
They found the key.
This metaphor just keeps on giving.
Amen.
Yeah.
Aaron, was there another team that you adopted during sort of some of the more negligible Pistons seasons?
You know what, man? It's I have a little bit of shame now that I'm on a Pistons podcast, but like back in those years when I was a huge fan, I really hated the Lakers, and I was so glad to see them get beat by us. But I do like LeBron, and I did hate LeBron back when I was like in those years, but now I like LeBron, and now I'm kind of like enjoying the Lakers. They're not my number one team, but I enjoy them.
I respect it. I'm a part-time Clippers fan out here.
Okay.
PTC.
But
You know those PTC?
what was that?
I said, you down with PTC? Part-time Clipper?
but yeah, no, it's pretty good time to be a part-time Lakers fan, I gotta say.
Yeah, man, it's a good combo right now. Pistons, Lakers. I'm excited. We got two of the best. Like, I mean, Cade and Luka. It's just like they kind of mirror each other's games, and you feel like we got like a superstar in the driver's seat for each of these. So it is exciting. Like Clippers too, though. That's pretty exciting as well.
Yeah, very psyched that both of my teams managed to avoid the play-in. It's nice to sit through this week, not be stressed, not be biting my fingernails down to a nub,
I know. It's hard to believe still. I don't know what to do, man, because like I still don't even believe that the Lions are good. Like like none of this makes sense to me.
Pinch me.
Yeah, like I feel like it's fake or something. Like the Tigers are good, the Lions are good, the Pistons are now good. It's like
The Red Wings still suck, though. So
but
there
dude,
is that.
no,
Dude.
Okay, listen. So I came from a very like new agey. My mom was very new agey, right? And this was in Michigan in the 90s, so that was like a big deal. But she was like into the Mayan prophecies. You remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like the
2012.
Yeah.
End of the world, baby.
That was like a misinterpretation by the masses.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To think that the world was going to end, but like really what it was 2012 was when the poles of the earth are shifting. So everything that will no longer be. Like things will be flipped on their heads, and like it's reflected in Detroit sports because the Red Wings suck, the Lions, the Tigers, and the Pistons are all good. And so like it's just another. I think it's the Mayans were right, man. They predicted this, and it's showing right
There's
now.
a shift.
Fans, huge basketball fans.
Oh yeah, they played.
Yeah,
saw that game.
And
Seen Apocalypto.
Exactly, a Balcalypto, right? Those pyramids, just giant arenas with basketball.
Well, baloncesto.
Yeah.
It is hard to believe, but I think like the Lions being good, like the 2 years of watching the young Lions get good, made the sugar pill of the Pistons being good so quickly a lot easier to swallow and believe, right? Like I see so many similarities between the franchises. Like, hey, we need to figure out our team character first. We need to think about team chemistry, and I don't care about the big names so much. I care about this team that works well together. Both teams love using grit as like their thing and toughness, and it's showing out. Like it's proving to be successful. I think there is this shift in sports right now, and thank God for it. Like, and I like the shift from toxic masculinity to if you're a coach, you have to treat your players like shit. You got to tell them they fucking suck and run them to the ground and emasculate them in order to get the most out of them. It's like we are a team, we are a unit together, we have each other's back. It's okay to be uplifting and positive and expect positive results. I think it's such a great just analogy. I mean, people use sports as an analogy in the workplace and in like just relationships all the time. But that's what works in relationships. That's what works in the workplace. And of course it's going to work in sports. Why the fuck
Wouldn't it? And we're seeing it right here with the Pistons. These dudes love each other. They're having so much fun with each other. And if we can tie into, because this is a playoff preview against the Knicks, people will say, and Aaron, I talked a little bit with you off air about this, but people say that the Knicks, because they have the number 2, 3, 4, 5 best players in the series on their team, that they have more talent than the Pistons do. That might be true, but I think the Pistons are a more cohesive team, a team that makes more sense. So when you have a team that is better suited for one another and you have the best player in the series on your team, I think that bodes well for this Pistons squad. Mickey, how do you feel about that?
I feel good, and I love everything you're saying about just their chemistry, and it's grit, and it's also buying in, and I think a lot of it has to do with JB. I think a lot of it has to do with just the assembly of guys. I think a lot of it has to do with Cade's natural leadership. And, we were talking to Doug Burns last week about, how Cade and Brunson are actually kind of similar in terms of their leadership, but the Knicks are going into the end of the regular season. They've been a little disjointed, and it's not that he doesn't rally them, but he was just coming off an injury. Lineups have been a little inconsistent. So I'm really excited that we can kind of take that chip on our shoulder that we've had throughout the regular season and just take it to them at MSG and continue the success that we've had there against this squad.
Aaron, what is your perspective on this series with the Knicks? How are you feeling about it going into it?
I feel good, man. I feel good. And to piggyback off of your analogy, I think what you're trying to say is like, basically the Knicks, they're like a Tinder date. They're like an OkCupid date. You know what I mean? Like, you check all the boxes. I want you to be 6 feet tall. I want you to, drive to the hole, whatever. I want you all these things. Check off the boxes, put it on a team. Look at, we're going to win. Look at all these boxes we checked. But they ain't got that chemistry. You know what I mean? We got the chemistry. We met our girl at the fair or whatever. Naturally, okay? We saw her. She saw us, popping balloons with a dart, from miles away, and they were impressed. And you can't buy that. You can't get that off Tinder, man. Like that's real chemistry. So I think that is what we have, and we'll see how it matches up against these Tinder freaks over in New York.
Beautifully put,
man. Yeah. I just had to write down that I got to clip that because that analogy is so beautiful. It's gonna it's for sure making the clip heads. I do love it, and you're right. Like on paper, New York makes a lot of sense. I mean, they went an all in for Mikal Bridges. They went all in for Cat. And those are good players. Everybody on that team is good. It's like hard to dislike it. And like Mickey said, when we talked to Doug, and like the more Knicks fans I talk to, it's just like there's this bit of like magic that's missing. We even asked Doug, like, what was your favorite game? And he said this win against Toronto. I don't know. Like,
he shifted to Grizzlies, but he acknowledged just how, all right, I don't know if this Raptors game can count.
But like with the Pistons team, there are so many moments, like so many. One against Toronto, one against 3 against Miami.
There's like 4 in a row, dude. Like game winner, last second, amazing games. It was like some like in the fall or something, but it was we're doing it regularly.
Yes,
crushing the Lakers when they beat the Timberwolves when Ant went off, but it still wasn't enough. Like there's so many landmark moments throughout the season.
3 of those were against the Knicks. 2 of them were in Madison Square Garden. Like Cade feasts in there. To go back to the point about like him being the best player in that series, he's been the best player literally every game that's played there. They have not had an answer for him defensively. People are like speculating who's going to guard him, what Tibbs going to do. Tibbs kind of like sticks to his guns about how he plays defense. Is he going to double team him? I don't think it matters all that much. I know people bring up that when Cade was having that insane first half where he scored like 27 points or whatever against the Hawks, and then the Hawks went to double team him, he kind of quieted down. The Pistons still scored 148 points in that game because he was able to pass out of that double team to Jalen Duren, who is a great distributor, has become a great distributor. The rise of Jalen Duren has been a phenomenal change for this Pistons team. I think if you thought about who this Pistons team was at the beginning of the year to who they are now, if you've been watching them all season, it's hard to consider them the same level of player. Like, there's been growth, and even though the vets are playing at a different level than I think anyone expected. Do you have a favorite vet in this series?
Well, just to respond to what you just said first,
Sure.
as someone who's been watching from afar in LA, not able to keep up as much as I want to, I looked at Jalen Duren's stats. I looked at all their stats like yesterday, and dude, he's like, when you look at the advanced stuff, he's doing better than Cade. Like I'm not saying he's better than Cade, but like his PER, his win shares, all those types of stats, Duren is like top 10 in the league. I'm like, wait a minute. Last time I talked to Harry last year, he said Duren was ass on defense.
Whoa. Yeah, actually, that's fair. I did say that.
Kept receipts.
There are receipts. And he was, no shame.
He was.
Dirt even said he was on some soft shit as early as this year. Just to be said, I have even thrown it. I accept. Just so you know.
So like, okay, so I want the breakdown of what happened to him. Because what has happened to him this year? He's just like slowly better and better, and now he's who?
I think what happened. This is again just speculation. This is just from watching. And Mickey, feel free to chime in as well on this. But Detroit also has one of, if not the best rim protecting big in the NBA on their team in Isaiah Stewart. So, and Paul Reed is a disruptor. Like Paul Reed's stocks per 36 are insane. Like he's just great defensively. And JB Bickerstaff's whole focus was we need to be a good defensive team. I mean, you look at the Pistons in general, like you wouldn't have called anybody outside of Asar and Beef Stew like good plus defenders. And now the team is like, since 2025 has been a top 5 defense in the NBA. So for Duren, not only had he had a disappointing 2024 where he could feel it, like emotionally he could feel it, but he got to listen to a coach who was trying to guide him in the right direction. He got to watch 2 other bigs and how they played defense, and he got to learn from that and get a little bit better. He got his own sort of maturity level because he's 21, dude. Like 21, I just started to respect people on an acceptable level. Like maybe he grew up a little bit. And on top of that, the team is hitting success levels. So the team is playing well. He's seeing the rest of his teammates hustling. Now he's hustling. He's seeing exactly how Beef Stew gets in the lanes. He's hearing how should he be cutting off on the pick and roll, how he should be handling going after like stretch bigs. I brought this up to people like on Blue Sky the other day, but can you remember the last time that Jalen Duren got cooked by a stretch big?
It was a while ago. It was probably like Vooch or something, or like maybe Miles Turner during one of those but it like weeks, if not months. Right.
The biggest response I got, and this is from Resball, the podcast. Shout out to them. They're fun stuff over there. Give Resball a listen and subscribe. He brought up Chet Holmgren when they played Oklahoma City. He went 0 for 5, but he got some open looks against him. But like, other than that, Duren is just, I think something clicked for him. And it's not only is he getting older, but he's more motivated. The team is behind him. Last year was such a nightmare for literally everybody coaching wise. And this year, I think we're getting to see the team benefit. Our YouTube user said Duren's agent got in his ear and told him he wasn't getting paid if he didn't stop doing that soft shit. Maybe because on this podcast alone, with guests, with Pistons Jack, with Bobby Bucket, with Kofi, we all said we probably wouldn't give him Beef Stew's deal. And now he's looking at $120 million guaranteed, is my guess.
Wow. I think that's super accurate. I also wanted to point out the progress of Jaden Ivey before he went down. I think you look around and you see a guy from your class also in a contract year rising to the occasion. And in that same speech, I think where he was talking about how he was on some soft shit, he was also saying how he knew what he could bring that could impact winning. And it was just a matter of doing it night in and night out. Because, we'd seen some flashes of like rim protectee Duren. But yeah, to Harry's point, I think the stable of capable bigs who filled in when like he would sit with foul trouble or something, I think it's eye-opening. And I think unlike Ivy, Duren had a really long leash last season. And I think some bad habits formed. But kudos to him. He's young. He recognized it. And that stuff didn't calcify. In fact, he really like turned a new leaf. And it'll still happen sometimes. You'll still see him get in foul trouble. And actually, Harry, you bringing up OKC makes me a little worried because between Hartenstein and Holmgren, that's sort of a Mitch Cat parallel there. So that could still be a challenge, but he's definitely changed a lot of hearts and minds.
Yeah, I mean, he's so fast and so mobile, and he seems like he has great hands. And I'm hearing he's gotten a lot better at passing. So
It's
that's
sensational.
all amazing.
The vision's crazy.
The passing is like truly sensational, and like I know he's big. Like he's not the tallest guy. I think he's like 6'10" or something. But when he's out there, he looks literally bigger than everybody. If you've seen like Clash of the Titans or Jason and the Argonauts, he looks like one of those giant like Roman sculptures that comes to life and just like start like some Ray Harryhausen monster. He's enormous, and like the rebounding sensational. It's just like his defensive awareness and like his defensive focus, I think is really up, and his hand activity is like vastly superior. You get to see his hands in the passing lanes where they weren't before, and it's just nice to see. And the other thing I'm going to toss out is like plenty of people made content about Jalen Duren. Some of it was just like scathing and negative, but other people put out content, and I'm going to shout out Bryce Simon for this, but in his like notes, he always has like video breakdowns and like little notes of post-game stuff about like, I would love to see Duren do this and fix this sort of thing, like breaking stuff down specifically. I know the players watch stuff and they read stuff and they're getting from their coaches. Maybe that helps. Maybe I don't know if it's something at all, but it could be. I think if I was a player and I saw some of that stuff, and like everybody else is seeing like all these problems that I'm having, that'd be great. Exactly. Maybe Duren started listening to Bryce. I'm not going to say it's like impossible or like that it for sure happened either. But like if I were in the NBA, I would be trying to figure out what I could do to be better. Why not? Right.
Yeah. Maybe he listened to your podcast last year and heard you say he was asked.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I hope not.
Yep.
I mean, I hope he listens this year. That's good. And now,
okay, so wait.
He's playing so well. He's got a clothing collab that's coming out tomorrow with Kiwi Klo, which looks sick, by the way. Go check that out. He's got that collab.
Is it all tank tops?
Has the song that just dropped. It's on. I think it is on TikTok.
All tank tops. Yeah.
It's all tank tops would be sick, but like truly, I'd be super.
Okay. So I'm curious, like if he reaches his potential as the trajectory that he's going, who are we looking at right now? Are we looking at Dwight Howard-esque? Are we looking at like Stoudemire, Amari? Are we looking at like Marc Gasol with the passing? Are we looking at like something else? Who do you think?
Do you have an answer, Mickey?
I don't, and it's hard because it's like a combination of things. Like it's people used to say Dwight Howard, like when he was getting drafted, that was like his player comp was like ideally he could become like a Dwight Howard type, and I definitely see that. But like the X factor that makes him hard to sort of like assign a player comp to is I think the passing, because he's not like doing like what Jokic does. Like no one can do that, and it's not like on a Sabonis level. He doesn't shoot like that. It's like a combination of.
It's not even a Chris Webber level either. But
well, and people were hoping he could be like a Bam, and I think that might be the closest, but it's not quite right. What do you think, Harry?
I kind of think he's unique in that regard, because the rebounding is sensational. The defense is fine, and it could be good. Like the defense is fine, trending toward good at this point. But the passing, like he's been knocking on the door of triple doubles recently without being a hub, and that's
handoffs, stuff like that.
The handoffs are great, and like you said, he's not Sabonis, he's not Jokic, he's not gonna be, and he's never gonna be Jokic. I mean, like you said, no one could be Jokic, but I do think, as far as like effectiveness goes, he could potentially surpass Sabonis because the defense is so much better, which is saying something considering where he came from here. And he doesn't need to be as big a scoring impact because he's also a crazy lob threat. So like just being a lob threat opens up so much more for Cade. So I think a lot of what Duren does, like even like rim protections that don't result in stocks, that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. The creating vertical space for Cade Cunningham doesn't show up on the stat sheet. But the stuff that does show up on the stat sheet, we're talking rebounds, points, and assists. They're all pretty good. I think he's a very unique big, and I don't even care that he doesn't stretch the floor. I don't think that matters all that much. Do you have any thoughts about him when you watch him play? Does he give you any vibes? Any vibes of anybody from the past?
Yeah. The body is just like Dwight Howard-esque, but yeah, I don't know. I think I see a little bit of maybe David Robinson, like light, He's got the muscles, he's got the passing, hopefully one day we'll have the defense on that level. I mean, that's an insane level, but still.
Yeah.
I could see a little bit of that, admiral.
So not the admiral, but more of the bad boy lieutenant.
The lieutenant, yeah. The bad boy lieutenant.
Yeah. I will say, Aaron, I also I live out here. It's hard to watch games sometimes. So, sometimes I'll find a link and I end up listening to another team's broadcast, and that's fine. But one of the bingo card moments is hearing other teams' broadcasters marvel at his body. Just what a specimen. Oh, he's got muscles on his muscles. It's like pretty routine.
Yeah, just some fat announcers. Wow,
just look at it.
Eating just hot dogs.
Wow. To be a bead of sweat dripping off his face.
What an Adonis. Like someone needs
to wipe it down a little bit. I just saw a towel. Wow.
And like speaking of Jalen Duren and like the big situation, because we haven't even like talked about beef stew either. And we've barely like talked about like this comparison on the team, but like the big matchup between the Pistons and the Knicks is a fascinating one. There's been a lot of talk about who's the X factor for the Knicks, who's the X factor for the Pistons. Mickey and I off air, we're talking about who we think the X factor, and it's the same one. He's like, I think it's this guy. Mickey, tell us all about it.
Yeah, touched on it a second ago, but I think it's going to be Mitchell Robinson because I don't think. Did he play in any of the regular season matchups?
Not against the Pistons.
He didn't.
Oh, wait. The first one? No, I don't think any.
I don't think so either. And yeah, to the point about the OKC too big thing, that could be scary because Mitch is a full-on like rim protecting, rim running 7-footer. And then if Duren's preoccupied with him, like that really frees up Cat to pop.
Do you think they're going to do that though?
I don't know.
Done it all year, right?
They haven't done it all year, so I suspect that they won't. And I don't want to
think Mitch would come off the bench.
I do think Mitch come off the bench. One, because he's not even like his minutes are still not even like up all that much, and also because who's their third big, right? If you're gonna play both of these at once, Precious Achiuwa, right? He's gonna get torn up on the other end. During the season, like I think when it comes to like playing his starters, that Tibbs won't change that lineup too much unless they're ending up losing. And like that would be good for the Knicks. I do think that could be to their benefit because Mitch Rob's rebounding is sick. Just like YouTube user says, I think people were too negative on Duren. He's the only really good rebounder on this team, rebounding ends possessions. And it does. And if Jalen Duren is like by far the best rebounder on the floor, that is huge for Detroit because not only does it end possessions, it also turns into transition points, which is where Detroit is going to get most of their advantage in this series, right? Like the New York Knicks are a slow-paced team. And if Detroit can just outrun them all day, bam.
Yeah, to YouTube user's point, also a putback machine. Him trailing Cade, like when that layup has a little extra on it, it rolls off the rim, he's right there to just yam it back home. So key for us.
Mm-hmm. And I am like slightly concerned about Mitch Rob because of how he's played against Detroit in the past, but because we haven't seen him against this Duren, like Super Saiyan, Jalen Duren, King Ghidorah, Mecha Duren, like it's just a different experience. And truly, I cannot wait to see these big bodies battle and just like bust each other's ass in the playoffs.
These big rippling bodies,
sweaty, dripping,
sinewy, just glistening in
godlike physiques.
Oh, look at Cat's face. It's just Oh, I bet he's got soft hands.
A
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of reasons to love the postseason.
Yeah. Oh, gonna be a good matchup. I can't wait to see these things. Yeah. I'm a little scared of OG Anunoby, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
Have you seen what he's done to end the year?
Tell us all about it.
He's scoring
man.
like 28 a game over probably the last like 2 weeks. He's like becoming he's taking a little leap over the last couple weeks.
In the absence of Jalen Brunson, it seems like he's taken on much more of an offensive workload. And we didn't get to see him in the final game against the Pistons either, which is like also a bummer. He did get his ass busted by Cade in the first game I guess the second game that they played against. But like, what are you worried? Are you worried about him on the offensive end? How has he been thriving from your perspective?
Offensively, man, he's hitting his threes. He's getting to the rack. He's doing all the things, and he's really getting them wins in Brunson's absence. And now Brunson's back, so now they're gonna have just the full litany at their disposal. I think we can handle it, but I'm just saying and in terms of rebounding, are we sure that Cat is the inferior rebounder to Jalen? Because Cat almost led the league in rebounds.
Yeah, right. So it's really up for grabs there as like far as it goes, but it'll be like a battle nonetheless. And it's a battle it's a battle Detroit has to win. On the full end of the spectrum, at the very least, Asar is a good rebounder, Tobias is a good rebounder, and Cade is a good rebounder. So like it's who knows how that'll all go. It's not just gonna be like two guys duking it out, but Duren has to take care of business there. Do you think Duren can take care of business against Cat?
I think so. I mean, just look at his muscles. He's bigger and stronger.
My God.
Twist my arm. God, can't look away.
Can we get a shot of his muscles on the screen real quick?
Yeah, I should pull him up at some point.
I mean, he's up there, man. He's up there in top NBA muscles ever. You got like Karl Malone, number one.
There's going to be little kids in Jalen Duren Halloween costumes with like the fluffy muscles.
The muscle suits?
Yeah.
Love a good foam muscle suit. Aaron, I think your concerns are valid. I've also seen what OG's done towards the end of the season. Here's what I'm hoping. I hope that the Knicks chemistry is a little wonky just because Brunson's been out. Mitchell Robinson's kind of like being integrated back into the rotation. You know, my hope is that like OG needs touches to be effective and he's not going to get them as much, or Brunson's going to be dominant, and guys who need rhythm to kind of get into that flow aren't going to be able to get that. It could be irrational, but I'm just hoping that like, you know, in the same way that like Boston is really good at like just being like, all right, it's Derek White's turn to pop off, or it's Jaylen Brown's turn to pop off, or Jason Tatum's going to go off for 40 something points. I'm hoping there's a little like deference to Brunson that like cools down some of the other guys, but they might just be like moving the rock and firing on all cylinders. That's just something I'm crossing my fingers about.
I do think you have something there though, because there is only one ball. Like the ball can only be in one person's hands, and with a lot of players, it kind of takes like it's like a little bit of a rhythm thing to get you going sometimes. And like you said, Aaron, OG was great over the last 2 weeks, but where was he beforehand? And what's he going to look like now that the offensive load is shared? And you know their primary offensive focus is Cat and Brunson. How's that going to be? And also, who's going to be guarding him? Like, I'm interested to see what these matchups are. What would be your ideal matchup like for the starting five? Let's say the starting five is for Detroit. It's the same that it's been all year with why am I blanking on who would be next to Cade? Like Cade Cunningham, Asar Thompson, THJ, Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren. And then for New York, Jalen Brunson, Mikhail, Cat, OG,
Hart,
and Josh Hart. Right? So that's that five.
Yeah. So what do you think the matchups are going to be?
Yeah. How would you pair up as far as like, what would you do if you were the Pistons to defensively match up against the New York Knicks?
Yeah, great question. Let's see. So I'd probably put Cade on Josh Hart, Asar on Jalen Brunson, I'd put THJ. What's he doing? I might put him not on OG. No. Maybe I'd put THJ on Josh Hart, Cade on Mikal, Tobias. I'll put Jalen Duren. Yeah, no, okay. Tobias on OG, and then Jalen Duren on Cat, and just.
This is hard.
Put some oil on him, and okay.
Just grease that, man. Our YouTube user says that Asar on Brunson. Brunson is really the only option. I guess kind of. I thought Cade did a pretty good job against Brunson, to be honest. Like, I do think Asar is like the best matchup there. Mickey, how would you set up the 5? Would you have any different than Aaron's?
Just hearing Aaron go through it just makes me realize how difficult this is. I'm also, my opinion is tainted by, I just listened to Pistons Pulse, and James Edwards, Bryce, and Omari were talking about everything. He was saying how he thinks that the Knicks might just completely sag off Asar and just double Cade and try and get the ball out of his hands. Similarly, I wonder if, like, just Aaron talking about, like, who do you put THJ on? Maybe we just let Josh Hart shoot and just double. Maybe THJ could be part of a double on either Brunson or Cat to just shut those guys down. And based off what those guys were talking about, that is sort of how the Knicks won a playoff round last year, was letting Josh Hart shoot. So can he do it again?
When Hart was
maybe,
I was losing my mind.
Yeah, I also wonder, like, can you do kind of like a 04 type thing where you just they made Shaq do everything. They just were like, all right, whatever. Like Shaq's just gonna have to win the game. I wonder if they could do something like that with Brunson, like kind of like how in the T-Wolves game, Ant popped off for like 50 points, but they didn't get the dub. So. Yeah, I'm not totally sure, but I wonder, I'm interested in this idea of like picking a guy where, like, you know what, if we don't have a person on him, like on the perimeter, it's just on them to like make practice threes.
Gotcha. I think for what I would do, and I can't remember what the Piston Pulse was saying about who should guard and who. So if it's the same answers they had, that's fine, dandy. I would maybe I'd start by putting Tobias on Cat. Just to like give him trouble at the 3-point line, and have Jalen Duren on Josh Hart, which is what a lot of teams have been doing. More like Josh Hart has been guarded by more centers than I think any other player in the NBA who isn't a center other than Jalen Johnson, from what I have seen. So I put Jalen Duren on Josh Hart, and if Cat is starting to beat Tobias to the lane, just have Duren sag off and help out at the rim, right? Like have him do that. And for the other half of the time, have beef stew on Cat. Like, just to start the game, have it one way, but when Cat's out there, when it's like kind of staggered, put beef stew on him, because beef stew got in his friggin' head last time they played, like big time, was making life miserable for the man. Then, so we're left with Bridges, OG, and Brunson. I probably Sar on Brunson. I think I would put THJ on Bridges and Cade on OG, because I think Cade is actually like not a bad defender, and I think his closeouts on threes have been pretty decent. And if that's what OG's game has been as far as offensively goes, especially because he doesn't have the ball in his hand all that much, great, do that. And I didn't even hate the Cade on the Cade on Brunson defensive matchup, because Cade is so much bigger than Brunson is. If as long as it doesn't get him in foul trouble, that's fine. But you don't want either of these players being in foul trouble. I'm very interested to see kind of how the fouls in the first game are going to go, because it's allegedly going to be more physical, and they're going to hold the whistle a little bit because it's the playoffs, and that goes allegedly. But that's in the Pistons' favor, because the Pistons are a very in your face, very aggressive, very hard hitting team, and the Knicks are not. Like, even Knicks fans have referred to them as a little bit soft. So if that benefits the Pistons, great. Let Asar do his thing. Let Cade do his thing. Let Duren do his thing. Let Duren throw his body around a little bit. I'm not overly worried about it. I do want to give the chat a little love here. Juan B said, respect, hit the likes and share the video. Not even a Pistons fan. Thanks, dude. Juan B,
Love it.
You be an honorary bad boy, baby. Get him in here. And from YouTube user says, bring Paul Reed at some point. Try to give him a fight for Cat. Maybe. Like Paul Reed might play because of fouls. If fouls are an issue, I think that'll be the case. I don't think Paul Reed like creeps into the normal rotation, to be honest. And he did get a lot of stocks against Cat in the last one they played, but Cat also like kind of busted his chops a couple times here and there too. He's just so much bigger than Paul is. B-ball Paul doesn't have the wingspan that Isaiah has. So like I wouldn't be against seeing it. I'm down. I'm just down with them taking it to the Knicks. Aaron, I would love to hear from you on how you think the Knicks are going to attack the Pistons. If you were Tom Thibodeau, if you were combing your hair to the side with all that product, how would you call this game? What would you do?
Fooling everybody.
Yes. Well, I am dangerously close to combing my hair to the side. It's not going well up there.
Aaron famously has a amazing joke about balding. So you got to follow him on socials. Look for that clip. Go through all his clips, and I'm sure it's in there somewhere.
It's in there somewhere.
Probably watch all of them just to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's
a good idea.
Buy his last album. I think it might be on his last album. Check that out.
Check it out. Check it all out. Yeah, you know what? Well, I do think Thibodeau is stubborn, and I think he is not creative. I don't know. He's good. Like, that's what everyone tells me. He's good. I don't know why. I think he's got like
he's like a restaurant on the other side of town. Everyone tells me it's great. So
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, no, the Yelp reviews.
I mean, he gave me food poisoning. But people love it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, like, but he doesn't play the two bigs. The offense, he's got a lot of offensive talent, but it's really just Brunson and Cat that he like utilizes. So I don't know what their plan. I think their plan is just going to be what it's always been, which is, wear out Brunson, like use Brunson till the end, like play after play, pick and roll after pick and roll, Brunson and Cat, and then whatever. If the defense is chasing, then you pass it around to the other guys. But I would say that's going to be their bread and butter: Brunson, Cat, pick and roll. If I was doing it, I would implement a brilliant motion offense with all that talent. I don't know how, but it would happen. I would talk to Steve Kerr, see what we can do, get all these guys moving, all these shooters shooting, a lot more screens, all that kind of stuff. But he's not doing that, and it's just going to be pretty simple, I think. But effective. But over the course of 7 games, I think there's a good chance we figure out some good counters to that. What do you think? What do you guys think?
I think they're going to try and stop Cade. And, talking about like, okay, maybe he guards OG. Maybe you don't want him on Brunson necessarily, but like he did that and it didn't really seem to slow him down that much offensively. And also we've seen him rack up some early fouls against the Knicks and still prevail. And I don't know if there's much they can do, really. I think if I were them, I'd blitz early and often and just force him to, have Asar do a lot of secondary creating or Schroeder, whoever it ends up being. I'll bring up one other Knicks X factor that I'm a little worried about, because they were talking on Pulse how with Dante and Randall, they lost a lot of their edge. Their edge, but Shamit's been playing. Landry Shamit has actually been playing pretty well, kind of in that Dante role, just that motion shooter kind of thing. And sometimes like quick little shooters like that have a way of cooking the Pistons. And, if they're so fixated on Brunson and OG and Cat, like that definitely leaves room. Oh, who else has been a Pistons killer is Deuce McBride. Had a little deuce on deuce crime the last time. So I think hopefully, Aaron, you're right. And like Tibbs is too rigid in his ways, but like I really think going to his bench in a lot of ways and not playing your starters 42 minutes is probably the move, but we'll see if he makes it. We'll
It's like having to overcome your biggest flaws to like make a relationship work. I just don't see that working. I don't think he's ready to take the next step.
You not be you, okay?
Yeah.
That you do and stop doing that. Be the opposite. Be somebody else, you know.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't see that happening personally, but you never know. Maybe this is the year that Tibbs changes, but I highly doubt it.
I also doubt it. I think it's so funny like that you bring up these players that like they could be the spark plug and they're just not going to play. Like the chance of them playing is so low that how effective can it be? And even if they do try to do this double to Cade and if they sag off Asar, fine. Then give the ball to Duren at the top of the key. Let a shooter try to get open and have Asar just crash and slash. And the Duren Asar connection has been money all year. Like those plays, like just like the quick dump off to Duren, and then or even on the short rolls from Duren to pass to a cutting Asar, or the pass to a cutting Ron Holland. It doesn't matter. Like whoever they sag off, the Pistons do so little just standing around. This is the antithesis of who they were last year. Last year it was one person running around with the ball, everybody else standing in place. That's not the case anymore. And this off-ball movement is going to open up so many scoring possibilities, especially for Asar, who has been great as of late for the Pistons and who has had his fair share of ball handling opportunities. Plus, like you said, they've been giving Dennis Schroeder a lot of play time with Cade Cunningham. That's just another ball handler to have out there. It could really work out. The more I talk about this matchup and the more I think about this matchup, the more confident I am in the Pistons. This is not like a talent thing or anything like that. This is just a mentality thing. The Pistons, they're having a great season already. They've done it. What do they have to lose at this point? What do the Knicks have to lose? The Knicks have to be playing scared. When the season came together, they were considered a title contender. You made all the moves. You're all in. You were like far and away supposed to be the guaranteed 3 seed, maybe the 2 seed, maybe the 1 seed, even challenging. Then you get surpassed by Cleveland. Boston still owns you. You have not beaten those 2 teams all year. You almost give up the 3 seed at the end of the year to the Indiana Pacers. And the team that you're playing against in the first round of the playoffs, you have beaten once this year. Just one time. So when it comes to the Cavs, the Thunder, the Boston Celtics, and the Detroit Pistons, the New York Knicks are 1-10. That's nuts, man. That thinking about that going into the series, high expectations against a hungry young team that has the better player, that has more rested legs, that plays at a faster pace, that plays harder. That's got to be getting into your head a little bit, I think.
No, definitely. It's a good position to be in. The lights are going to be bright. I think the vibes amongst the team and even amongst the fans is like, would have liked to figure some of this shit out a little earlier before going into this matchup. It's going to be intense. There's going to be celebrities there. There's going to be Spike Lee courtside, but I don't know if the Knicks can do the right thing. I don't know if they can.
Oh,
sitting on that for like 5 minutes now.
Yeah.
He's gonna be looking at Cade and be like, "Yeah, game." That's my only other Spike Lee pull.
Oh, that's my favorite basketball movie.
It's a top 5 for me. It's so fucking incredible.
So good.
Real quick, do you guys want to give some of the best basketball movies? It's not my number 1 for what it's worth. It's probably number 2. Mickey, what's your favorite basketball movie?
Wait, you said Love and Basketball?
No.
Which one did you just say?
He Got Game. He Got Game is Weaver's number 1. Love and Basketball is up there for me. That's another top 5 for me. Is that your number 1?
It might be. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other. I don't know if I've seen like a ton of the. What are some of the great basketball movies?
Oh, The Air Up There.
Never seen The Air Up There.
Air Bud.
Oh, Air Bud, sure.
Uncle
Teen
Drew.
Wolf.
My number 1 is White Man Can't Jump. I think that's one of the best movies of all time.
Oh yeah. That's number 1.
Yeah, Woody's pretty awful the whole time. I don't mean acting wise. I mean his character.
Who?
Woody Harrelson.
What do you mean? Oh, because of his gambling addiction and he can't get over it.
And just he's a dick to Wesley. So I saw this fairly recently for the first time, And I feel like the whole movie, Wesley Snipes is like bending over backwards to meet Woody Harrelson in the middle. And the whole time, Woody's like, fuck you.
I don't know. Like Wesley Snipes swindles him, I mean, like he hustles him at one point, and like he is busting his ass a little bit in there as well. He gets Woody Harrelson to help him out when he promised not to do something. He did I will give it to you for the scene where he's like trying to convince him, don't bet on this like dunk thing when you can't fucking do it. He's trying to help him out there. I'm all for that. And he definitely does more for Billy Hoyle than Billy Hoyle does for Sidney Dean. But I mean, they're both selfish guys. Like
that's true.
That's kind of part of the theme of the movie. It's a little bit about race. It's a little bit about basketball. It's a little bit about competition. It's a little bit about relationship. It's a little bit about growing up. And it's a little bit about addiction on top of it. And it's just so fucking fun.
It's very of its time too. I'm just saying it's a good thing his girlfriend got that slot on Jeopardy because they were going to be shit out of luck. Spoiler alert.
I have one. I used to tell one bit about that never like hit because the movie's like so old. But in that movie, when she's on Jeopardy and she gets asked about the volcano at Pompeii, she goes, "What is Mount Vesuvius?" Alex Trebek would never let that slide. Not in a million fucking years would we go, "Ooh, we have to check the judges." That's wrong. Straight up wrong
break
for Alex Trebek. So that's the only part of the movie that I'm like, this isn't real. Other than that, spot on. And also Hustle's a great basketball.
Hustle's fun.
Hustle's fun. What was that one with Ant Edwards in it recently?
It's Hustle.
Adam Sandler. Oh, is that Hustle? Okay.
It's Hustle.
That's Hustle, yeah.
Yeah, Blue Chips is classic.
Mm-hmm.
Hoosiers.
Yeah.
Hoosiers. Luck of the Irish. Classic Disney Channel Ridge.
Pride.
Yeah, maybe not that one.
So like, yeah, there's a lot. How do we get on this topic of basketball movies and stuff? But I think when it comes to like playoff vibes, how about we get to just a prediction at this point? Aaron, how do you think the series is going to come out? And then Mickey, I'm going to go to you afterward.
Whew. Okay, so this is a Pistons podcast. Do we have to choose the Pistons?
You don't.
Okay,
don't
certainly not.
Your heart.
Yeah. Okay, so let me think. Let me feel. I'm gonna go with my heart.
And before you get in there, I want to give you some more time to like think about it. In their chat, I want your responses too. If you got a prediction, we want to hear it. We also want you to like, subscribe, click the buttons, put on the notifications so you have the alerts of when this is going to happen. We're trying to get as many subscriptions as Malik Beasley ended up with 3s by the end of the year. So we need 319. We are vastly away from there. So we need you to
spread the word.
Spread it. Tell your friends. Have some fun. Juan B did. Juan B gave us that like. So come on in. Give us the join. And with that, with no further ado, Aaron, now that you've had some time to think about it, where are we at?
Yeah. Okay. So here's what's going to happen, I think that it's going to be a great series, and I'm going to go with the Knicks in 7. I think there's going to be the Pistons are going to put up a huge fight. The Knicks are going to be terrified. We're going to see how good we actually are. Everyone's going to wake up. Wow, the Pistons are legit. But this is just going to be our first foray into the postseason. There's a lot of new faces in the biggest stage in basketball, Madison Square Garden, where they have home court. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Detroit pulls it off, but I'm going to go Knicks in 7, setting up like a couple round victories next year.
Okay. I can live with it. I can live with it. I don't love it.
But I don't love it either. It's, just
you're listening to your heart. You're listening to your brain. You're trying to be rational. You're trying to temper down expectations. It's what you believe. That's fair. Mickey, where are you at?
I'll keep it short and sweet. OG Anunoby's knees, chopped cheese, Malik Beasley 3s, Pistons in 5.
Whoa!
It's a gentleman's sweep, boys. Gentleman's sweep. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be close. I think this is going to be the series that breaks Stephen A. That's my hope.
when Wade comes to town, it's going to be over for him. He's going to have to come to Michigan. He's going to have to get the Beasley shimmy meal from the Sliders restaurant.
Hell yeah.
Eat it all up. Damn, dude. Pistons in 5? That's more
Pistons in
homer.
5.
That's more homer than I was gonna go. And I was thinking about it. I was like, can I go Pistons in 5? And
You're not always the biggest homer.
it's
Oftentimes that's the case, but sometimes I gotta let my little Detroit flag fly.
very fair, very true. I'm gonna go Pistons in 6. And the reason I say that is I think that Detroit is going to split in New York. I actually think Detroit might take this first game in New York. Then New York might wake up a little bit or win the second one. Then I think the Pistons win 2. Then I think the Knicks win 1 in Madison Square Garden. Then I think the final game in Detroit is just too much positive Piston energy, like too much hype, too much crowd awareness, too much weight on Knickerbocker shoulders. And that Detroit, because this has been such a storybook season for them, pulls through and is able to surpass expectation, able to take down this team by playing a fast-paced, high defensive game. And I think Cade Cunningham is going to shine the entire way through. And I really think Jalen Duren's really going to shine in this entire series. He's my X Factor guy. And Malik Beasley is going to have at least 1 or 2 games where he has 7+ 3-pointers. And I don't think the Knicks are going to be able to keep up with all that. So we got 1 Knicks in 7, 1 Pistons in 6, 1 Pistons in 5. The juice is up. Aaron's gone from jazz to juice at this point. What level of pulp we feeling about the Pistons right now, Aaron?
Oh baby, I'm feeling I'm feeling like it's stuck on your tongue when you try to drink it, and it's like it's real pulpy. You know what I mean? Like soft people don't want no part of this.
Yeah,
you got to brush your teeth after.
You got to brush your teeth. Yeah,
you got to gargle our pulp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as we've gotten here, we brought Aaron on Shamedy, comedy from Biamity.
I
got it. Stuck with me. And he brought up how his mom is a little bit new wave, and that's always been the thing about you. I feel like we've discussed it a lot. We've always talked vibes off air in our relationship, just as friends. We've done some weird spiritual shows together in general. If you want to call them weird, you can. If you
few
want
rituals. We've burned some stuff.
Ceremonies, yes.
I mean, it clearly worked.
Taking part in a sound bath or 2. And I mean, this podcast is a little bit new agey, if you want to call it a little woo woo, a little rah rah, a little as it is. Would you, Aaron, like to lead us once Mickey comes back? I think he might have grabbed his dog here. Is that what happened, Mickey? Lost him a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna want the dog for this too.
We're gonna need it.
Yeah.
Mickey back?
I'm willing to sacrifice the dog. That's what this is about. Sorry about that. Yeah, I had to feed her. She was disrupting the podcast because she's a low key Knicks fan. I don't even get it.
Oh no need.
It's ironic because she hates cats.
Hey,
she gotta be part of the dog pound, son.
All right. I'm ready though. I'm ready. I've got. I'm feeling centered.
Do you have your pillow? Do you have your pillow out to sit on? Everyone.
Yeah, get a pillow. We brought Aaron on this podcast to lead us Pistons fan in a guided meditation to prepare us for this playoff experience. So let me get that.
That's right.
Are you? Should I get this music going for you?
I'm ready when you are, Harry. Yeah.
All right, sir. Here we go.
All right. All right, welcome everybody. Just want you to close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes. Unclench your jaw. Uncross your arms. I know you're a Pistons fan, but it's safe to feel hope again. Feel the air enter your lungs. Exhale calmly. You're not dreaming. We are back in the playoffs. We finally have a real goal. We're not just shooting blanks in the dark like GM Stan Van Gundy. Today, we must welcome in our power and let go of what no longer serves us. So breathe in the energy of the bad boys, Lampier, Rodman, Isaiah, and exhale the hope we placed in Henry Ellenson, Rodney Stuckey, and generational superstar Reggie Jackson. Thank you for your service, Kings. You are amazing bench players. Now notice, are you still holding anywhere? Maybe in your belly or your chest? That's okay. Just calmly whisper to yourself, Cade is elite. Asar is the truth. Jalen Duren is the light and the way. Now picture the sad eyes of Spike Lee as he sits courtside and watches Beasley shimmy down the court. Picture Cat throwing errant lobs to the ghost of Bison Dele. This is what winning in the playoffs feels like. Notice your posture. Are you standing taller this season? Are your shoulders relaxed now that Monty Williams is coaching a high school team and benching his own son instead of Jane Ivey? Let go of any resentment you've had for all the years of dysfunction. The Lions did it, and now we are too. It's so important to let go. Otherwise, we'd still have James Wiseman on our team. All that matters is we're finally good again. You are a Pistons fan. You've suffered. You've grown. And now, like Isaiah Stewart, for no reason at all, you're ready to throw hands with destiny. And I will end this meditation with a voice activation. To feel the sacred syllables resonate through our body. So let's inhale together. On the exhale, the sacred syllable, Inhale. Exhale the syllable O together. Now inhale, and for our final syllable, we will exhale. Detroit basketball. Round two, here we come. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, Detroit basketball. Yo, I was saying some stuff.
You saw some stuff?
I was like visualizing. Mickey, how are you feeling right now?
Rejuvenated, invigorated, hopeful. Like, wow, I definitely feel a weight off my shoulders. That Henry Ellenson nod really did something for me. After that, it was all sort of just a blur. But I feel bliss.
Elation.
You got to let that in. You got to let that in, Mickey. You got to hold that. You got to hold that for our team. And that's what Henry would want. And that's Henry's holding it too.
I think in our chat, Jeremy Gendersek saw something. He said, watch Cade emerge into the right-handed James Harden this series. Everybody else, do your job. I can see it. I see it. I visualize it. The errant lobs getting thrown. Watching in slow-mo in my mind's eye, Spike Lee's face melt into a frown with Malik's ass going to go back to White Men Can't Jump 6 to 8 inches to left or right, depending on the wind. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us, man. You want to shout out some of the stuff you got coming up? Tell the people where you're going to be, where they can find you, or what they should check out.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I am doing this. If you're into, spiritual comedy, which most Pistons fans are, you can check me out at Comedy from Biomedy on Instagram and TikTok, and me personally at Weave Dreaming on Instagram and TikTok. I'll be posting a bunch of stuff on there, so keep up with me there. And yeah, holding out the highest light for our team. I think we got this, except maybe not. That's my prediction was.
I think you got it. Mickey, you got any closing statements, my man?
I don't. Thank you, Aaron. I feel I've never felt readier for this. I feel like I worked through generations of Pistons trauma just now, and I'm just excited. It's all gravy from here on out.
Awesome.
Or it's all
juice.
Coney chili.
Coney chili.
It's all stew juice.
Ooh, it's all beef stew from here on out.
Really quick before we go, Aaron, were you saying Stu might be questionable for the game?
Yeah. Well, I just was looking on ESPN and he's got the DD next to him day to day. So I don't know what that's all about. But.
All right, well, I hope that's cautious.
Yeah, I hope it's just cautious. Hope he's just getting some rest because he is going to be incredibly important in the series. So,
huge.
It's gonna matter a lot. Hopefully he's all good. I believe in him. I think if it's close, he'll play clearly. And you just got to do his thing. Anchor that defense down. So, Aaron, thank you so much for joining us. Mickey, this has been such a great time. I'm so happy we get to do this together. I'm so happy we get to walk into the podcast together. Hooper, thank you so much for bestowing the prophecy upon us and allowing us to help make this come true. Praise horse. And just to finish off this one final comment in our chat, Monkey Wrench Built says, NYK fan here. Good luck, but this is not going to go the way you want it to. Hey, I don't know, my man.
Can I say that is just some very cordial trash talk? I appreciate that.
Nightbot deleted it. I'm sorry. Monkey Wrench, my Nightbot deleted that. He didn't need to unless you were spamming. Oh, the all caps. That's fine. It was just because you were all caps, but I don't think it's that big a deal. His name says he's trying to throw a monkey wrench in it, but guess what? The monkey wrench just helps the Pistons come to success. Guys, all up to you too, and all the best to the Knicks. They're a fun team. I got no hate, no loathing for the Knicks. I'm very happy to play against a team that there isn't bad blood between. I think it's gonna be a fun series. And yeah, who knows? Who knows it's going to go on? Yeah, I know that was just sorry about the deleting. It was just because it's all caps. It's just like set to do that.
We appreciate you.
We do appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Good luck to you. And if you don't want Tibbs to be your coach next year, good luck to us. I suppose there are plenty of good options out there for you. And for everyone out there, enjoy this team. Enjoy the series. Enjoy the moment. This is so much fun. We helped make this happen. The team is happy about us. We're happy about the team. And as always, we leave the show OOBH the way a horse would say it because we are guided by a horse.